Okay, welcome back to my channel, How To Chris here. So today I'm going to show how to make milk bread. So let's get started. So what I do is basically put everything in this bowl here. I have my milk, and I have the flour, I have some yeast, and I have some hot water. So what I have to do is get the yeast proofed first. So I use a half a teaspoon per cup of flour, just like when I make pizza dough. So same thing applies for this when I make milk bread. So this is a cup of milk. So 1 cup of milk right here. Now it's cold because I took it right out of the refrigerator, but I want 2 cups of liquid, so I can add the hot water to this, get me up to 2 cups, and that'll warm up the milk for me so I don't have to do anything separate. So I want about 2 cups. I can go a little less. And that's going to be the perfect temperature to get the yeast proofed. So I'm going to do 3 cups of flour. So as I said, I do a half a teaspoon per cup of flour. I'm doing a total of 3 cups of flour, so that's a teaspoon and a half of yeast, which I added to this milk, which is warm. And this way we can get this yeast to proof nicely. I just stir it all up. You can wait a little bit, but just you want to get everything incorporated. So I'll just keep mixing it up until it gets kind of frothy and try to get everything dissolved. So you can use a whisk or a fork, works pretty good to get this mixed up and nice and frothy. You don't want to have anything uneven in here. You want it to be all smooth. This way it activates nicely. No clumps. So I just kind of tap them against the side here, get the clumps out. Okay, now it's just time to add it to the bowl. Mix it up a bit more. Okay. This goes back in the refrigerator, the yeast. And now it's time to add 3 cups of flour. So we got 1, 2, 3 cups. You can add your egg with the liquid, which would be even easier, but I'm going to just add it in a minute here. I usually do all the wet ingredients at one shot, but not going to make much of a difference because I'm going to be putting it in here anyways. So I have to go grab an egg. It's the only thing I forgot. So let's not forget the egg. I almost forgot that. But this will definitely help a lot getting it to be nice and fluffy. So we got the egg. Just get this mixed in. And then we're going to add a little bit of sugar in here. Okay, that'll get distributed nicely in a second. Okay. So sometimes if you forget the egg, like I did, I forgot to add it to the wet ingredients, you're going to want to do that. Gonna get some sugar in here. Maybe a quarter cup would be perfectly fine. Now you can make it as sweet as you want. I'll probably do just about a quarter. A little less. Should be about good. Just get this mixed in. Kind of mix it just almost as if I'm tossing a salad. So we got the milk in here, we got the flour, we got the yeast, sugar, and 1 egg. Just kind of getting everything incorporated and blended. And then I'm going to show how you can just put it in a baking dish. You just want to get everything nicely incorporated. And make sure everything's mixed up. Of course, if you don't add the egg to the liquid, you don't add all your wet ingredients first, then it makes it a little harder, but you want to usually do that. But I was able to get this all incorporated anyway. It's not the end of the world. You can add an egg in later, as long as you mix it all up. This is going to make a really nice milk bread. Okay. So now we're just going to cover this and let it rise up, knock it down a few times, and then we're going to shape it, and I'm going to show you what I put that in just prior to going in the oven. Okay, everything's nicely mixed up and incorporated. Just put a cover over it, put it in a warm spot, let it rise up, knock it down, give it a few flips, and then I'll show how I shape it and get it into the oven. So this has been 30 minutes and it's still got way to go yet, but it rose up quite a bit already. But it'll go to the top. Give it probably another 30 minutes. So about an hour, it'll rise right up, and then we'll knock it down, and I'll show how I can start shaping it. Now this is the same ingredients here in this mix that I use to make donuts and twists. So this here I'm making today, I'm making milk bread, so this is just going to get baked in the oven. But if I were to do twists or donuts, the only difference is that will get fried in oil. So I'll be making a video how to do the donuts and twists and filling them with like jelly. You can do jelly donuts, and that's the same ingredients that I have here. So just like I'm making milk bread, but I'll just be frying it. So, but I'm gonna show how we can get this knocked down and kneaded. I'll give it another 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, and let's have a look. So after 45 minutes, it doubled in size. If I wait a bit longer, it'll come right up to the top. So I've done it before that it comes right up. It takes about an hour, and it depends again on the temperature. But this doubled in size, and I'm good to go. I'm going to show you how I knock this down, and I get it right into this here spring form. It's like I use this for cheesecakes, and basically I'm going to put it in this, and I'm going to make a nice big milk bread here, and then it'll be easy just to pop it right out. So after it rises up, this is all you have to do. So you're just going to knock it down a bit. So let's get that tool for that, the spatula thing. So we got a spatula. You can use your hands. I'm just going to use this just to get started. I like to just kind of free up the sides a little. And you can do a couple of different things. If you're gonna, you need to worry more about all those folds and getting it really nice if you're going to, if you don't have like the spring form. If you're just gonna shape it and pop it in the oven, you're gonna want it to be sturdy enough that it doesn't just fall apart. But this is gonna be a foolproof way if you just use one of these. You use like a pan that you know, has a nice shape already, so like this case. But if you just lay it on a flat surface, it can kind of fall apart on you if you don't fold it properly. But this video here, I'm just going to show you a foolproof method here. Just pop it in here and good to go. So you can just oil this up a little bit, which helps a lot. I'll just put a little bit of oil, just a drop, not too much, just enough to get this coated. I'll do the sides. Now again, if you don't have one of these, then you're going to have to lay it in something flat. Then you're going to need to know how to really fold it, and it'll require a lot more work actually. But I'm going to show how to do some of that too in an upcoming video. But I want to start off with simple first, and then I'll show how you can get the bread to stand up on itself, by itself, without having some walls around it. So just on a flat surface, you would have to proof it in a basket or a nice shape. Okay, so now got this here, just like this. I just folded it over with the spatula, nothing fancy. You only need to do fancier folds and real good technique if you don't have a pan like this, a springform pan, or even just a regular pan. If you want it to be all by itself on a flat surface, then you're going to need to know how to fold it so that it stays together without collapsing. But I'll show that in another video. This is just a foolproof method how to get it done without anything special here. So it's just real simple. Got to get this in here. So you can either just dump it out like this, or if you want to do a little bit of folding and kind of get some more air in here, then you just go ahead and do a few folds first. So let's get this folded like this. So again, you can just dump it out. It's going to be fine. But I'm going to help it along even more. So you can either wet your hands, put flour, put a little oil, whatever you want to do. I'll go with a little bit of flour. Right around there. A little bit on the sides. The quicker you work, less likely it's going to stick to your hands, but that's what the flour is for. So if you wanted to just pour it in there and bake it up, you're going to be good to go and it's going to be perfect. But I want to just show how to do a little of this. So if you don't have a pan, you got to lay it on a flat surface. So you flour it up like I just did, and you're going to make some folds just like this, just like this. You're going to come this way, and this way, and you can see how it's starting to interlock and build some strength there. So by doing that, it gives it some structure. So we'll do a couple more. So you just fold it over. Fold it over. This way you don't have a big glob mess on something flat. But if you're putting it in something like this, it doesn't matter because it'll just ooze out, spread out to the sides, and it's going to be fine. But so if you don't have it, that's what you do here. Now all I have to do is pick this up and plop it in here. Let's show you how I do that. Just pick it up, drop it in, help it along a little. And if I let it proof even longer, it's going to fill this all in. But if I want to just go right ahead, put it in the oven, it'll have a little bit maybe more of this shape. It might not spread out. So it depends what I want to do. I'm kind of happy with it just like this. If I wanted to fill this whole thing up, I'll just cover it with that dish, just like this. And I'll leave it for a little bit longer so it springs up to that spot there. So it's up to me, you know, whatever I want to do, whatever you want to do with what you're baking. But this would make a nice loaf right here. So I can go ahead and put it in, and we'll see. We'll see what I do. I'll probably just cover it up because I don't really want to bake it at this second. Got it covered up, and then I'll pop it in the oven when I'm ready. So that's how I do that. Okay, so let's have a look here, and it's been maybe 10-15 minutes since I put it in here. So I'm just hoping that I filled in a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, filled in quite a bit. So you can see that. So the longer you keep it in, the more volume it's going to get in here. It'll fill this out nicely. So I'm about ready. Really, I'll just probably put it in the oven now because while it starts heating up, it'll fill in. You can see that it's pretty nice. It's got some bubbles forming here already. So you know what? I'm just going to put it right in the oven. And again, baking is up to you. You know, if you want to take a little longer, you know, to wait for things, that's perfectly fine. If you want to just go ahead. Oops. Okay, trying to get this door open here with one hand. This is just a toaster oven actually, and I just put it in like this on the bottom rack. And let's close it up and set it for 350, which it is, and we'll do like 350 and we'll do like 20 minutes, and then I'll come and check on it. I could do 15, you know, check on it, but I'll do about 20 and then I'll check on it, and then when it's all said and done, it'll probably be about 30 to 40 minutes. So I'll show what that looks like since it's done. So we just came up upon 30 minutes, approximately 30 minutes. I'm going to take this out and see what we have. Okay, so I'll show you what's really good about this spring pan, how it helps. Okay, so we got some nice milk bread here, fresh, right out of the oven. And let's get it out of this spring film here and see how we did. So this is really hot. We have to really let it cool down. Okay, so we got some nice milk bread here, fresh, right out of the oven. And let's get it out of this spring film here and see how we did. So this is really hot. We have to really let it cool down. But if I just use this towel, I'll be okay. Let's just move this around to here. Unclip it. If I can get it, let's see, maybe this way. Okay, pop that free. I just want to kind of work the sides a little. Like I said, when it cools down, it's better. So I want to go in there. I don't want to scratch anything, obviously, because we don't want to do that. But let's just get in there with something that's not going to scratch it. So that spatula would work. Alright, so it's just been another minute. It's kind of cooling down a lot. So you want to just sort of stretch this open so it's at max. And then, there we go. Give a little bit of room to move around in there. Like I said, it's stuck a little bit on that one side. It's okay. We're almost free. Here. Okay, got that free. So it did stick a little right there, and it created a little problem, but not that big of a deal. Okay, so we just got to get it released from the bottom, and we don't want to really use any metal tools. We don't want to scratch this, so just get under there. It's almost free. I think we're about there. One corner here. Let's see, right about here. Okay. free now. That's our bottom, it's our top, and I just got to just cut it with a serrated knife, and we're going to be good to go. Let's do that. Knife. So what I can do next time, so it doesn't break on the side here like this, it did get stuck in that mold, but what you can do too is just score it here, and then it'll help make it more even, but it doesn't matter to me. I like the way that looks, but I'm going to cut this and see what we have. So let's go. I'm going to show you how I do this. So you kind of cut it here. I'm going to get it on a cutting board, but I just want to show. It stands up pretty well, so this is what we have here. It's nice and fluffy inside, but let's cut it a little further. So this is what I have. Very nice and soft. Let's put it on the cutting board and do a bit more to this. We can plate it up over there. So I'm just kind of getting it cut up and plated here. Make sure that I'm showing that. So you can see you got a really nice piece of bread here, very soft. So here we go. So we got some nice bread here.